Hello friends, do you remember the reason why you quit the job last time? Let me tell you why. Wait, I'm not an astrologer, but will tell you some of the potential reasons behind any resignation, like lack of trust and respect, no recognition, lower salary and high output expectation, no growth opportunity, lack of learning and development, feeling underutilized, feeling overstressed and overworked, work-life balance, unhealthy work environment, and bad managers. There could be many other reasons also, but if you will apply the Pareto principle, then I am pretty confident that bad managers and lower salary will top the list. Whenever an employee decides to leave the organization, it affects the productivity of the team and operations of the organization as a whole. Some cases of attrition can be healthy, but most of the time it is the burden for the organization. The burden of employee turnover cost, in case you want to fill back the same position. So let's understand what is included in the employee turnover cost. First one is recruiting cost to fill the vacant position. Second, employee onboarding cost. This cost is associated with the time spent on orientation and training to bring the new employee to speed. Every hour spent will add to the cost. Third, loss of productivity and expertise. Fourth, opportunity cost. This cost is related to the lost opportunity because of your inability to take up the new project in absence of the employee and his experience. Fifth, negative impact on the existing employees. You see how attrition can impact the overall functioning of the organization? This is the very reason why companies invest their time and effort towards employee engagement, as this will keep employees motivated and committed to the organization goal and values. So today, I'm going to touch upon one of the very important aspects of employee engagement strategy, which is how people should be managed at the organization. Bad people management have direct impact on attrition and organization productivity. This we have already seen. Let's take a hypothetical scenario to understand this. That you are a new football player and have been asked to enter the field as a substitute during an ongoing match. Nobody told you which position you have to take in the field. You are confused and completely baffled. You are running and moving around the players without knowing what is expected from you. Every attempt of yours to make a goal is going into vain because of poor coordination between you and your team member and your coach. On top of this, your coach is yelling at you for your poor performance. This is the exact same situation which most of the employees have to go through. You will find many managers who will hide what their expectations are and will leave you alone and criticize you at the end of the year when you don't perform at the desired level. They do this just to look good as a manager. In order to fit the bell curve, they look for few winners, few losers and everyone somewhere in the middle. This particular situation is very frustrating for many employees, I would say every employee. These managers fail to understand that everyone is a potential winner and some people are disguised as losers. They also fail to understand that how critical this can be for their own operations and organization as a whole. Now, we should see the other side of the coin also, that not all managers are bad managers. You may think that what these managers do differently which makes them a good manager. Whatever I am going to discuss further in this video is going to be very helpful for all first-time managers or anyone who wants to become a manager in future. So let's see what are the qualities of these managers and how they deal with their employees. People management skills are harder to define compared to any technical skills. Managers should not forget that they are dealing with adults and their emotions. Every manager has to strike a balance between an employee expectations and company's values and goals. So let's begin. The first quality is they are effective communicator. Communication is the keystone of the effective leadership. Communication is all about how effectively you are expressing yourself or you can express yourself so that what you think and what you say are closely aligned. Communication is very important for any managers to present the ideas and vision to inspire others, to communicate the priorities, to provide feedback, to communicate strategy and executional information, to negotiate effectively, to manage conflicts. The second quality is they set clear goals for the employees. They ensure that their people understand their responsibilities well and know what they will be held accountable for. The idea here is to eliminate the element of surprise, and everyone knows what is expected of them from the beginning. These expectations will take a form of goals which are aligned to the organization's vision and mission statement and its yearly objectives. They use 80-20 rule to set the goals. They believe that 80% of your really important results will come from 20% of your goals. That is your key area of responsibility. They keep maximum 6 goals for their employees. Their role does not end here. They have to ensure that their employees understand their performance standard. Performance standards are those good behaviors which matches to the goal. The understanding of the good behavior should be such that whenever an employee falls into the situation where his behavior does not match the goals, then he should know the difference between what is actually happening and what is desired in observable and measurable terms. These managers insist their employees to take a minute from their daily routine and check their performance and ensure that it matches with the good behavior. The third quality is they review their employee goals periodically. These managers periodically assess the progress of the goal and provide assistance wherever needed. If the progress hasn't been met as per the plan, they engage in an in-depth discussion about what went wrong, combined with encouragement to try again and address or rework the stated objectives. The fourth quality is they give consistent feedback. Let's imagine a situation. What will happen when you start praising your new and unexperienced employee immediately after you observe him doing something right? Even if it's a small win, just imagine what impact it can have on his confidence. But the irony is, most managers have the tendency to wait until their employees do something exactly right before they praise them. As a result, many employees never get to become high performers because their managers concentrate on catching them doing something wrong. That is, anything that falls short of the final desired performance. As a result, these employees do not produce quality deliverables. And the reason for this poor performance is how these people are managed. Good managers praise their employees immediately when he observes them doing something right. These managers tell people what they did right specifically and make them feel good about how it was important for the organization. He encourages them to repeat their performance. This entire process should not take more than 1 minute. Your subordinate should realize that you have noticed their performance and you care for them. On the other hand, if they observe somebody not performing to the expectation because they lack confidence or are insecure because of lack of experience, instead of punishing them, they go back to goal setting and make sure that employee understands what is expected of him and that he has seen what good performance looks like. As your subordinate grow older in their role and organization, this habit of yours will set the environment where they will start praising themselves whenever they catch themselves doing something right. Also, your subordinate will always wonder when you might praise them again, and that thought will keep them going even when you are not around. Now let's move to a situation when you as a manager fail to give immediate feedback to your employee whenever you observe misbehavior. You kept on saving the negative feeling about someone's poor performance for the performance review. This habit of yours yield nothing. Rather, it will create an environment where you as a manager and your subordinate usually end up yelling at each other about the facts or simply keeping quiet and resenting each other. The person receiving the feedback doesn't really hear what he or she has done wrong. This situation is very awkward, and I believe you don't want to be in this. You may be thinking, how good managers deliver the negative feedback? The good manager gives the immediate feedback when he observes any misbehavior of his employee leading to a poor performance. They tell their employees about what they did wrong and how he feels about it. His feedback is very specific and to the point. At the same time, he reminds the person that how valuable and important that person is to the organization. Immediate feedback helps them to deal with one behavior at a time, and the person receiving the feedback would not be overwhelmed. They could hear the feedback. For this basic reason, performance review is an ongoing process, not something which we do only once a year. He as a manager targets to eliminate the behavior, not the individual. He ensures that when the reprimand is over, it's over. These type of consistent feedback, positive or negative, lead to significant improvement in people's behavior. This also helps the manager to establish the important connection with the employees. The fifth quality is they are problem solver. They identify and overcome various problems before they become bigger. They understand their function well, which helps them to provide outstanding attention to details. They identify the root cause of the problem and solve them, which takes the pressure off from their employees. The sixth quality is they trust and respect their employee. Trust and respect are one of the important factors when it comes to managing adults. Good managers never manipulate their employees. They rather support their employees at different stages. Like, they direct when the employee is new. They coach when the employee becomes aware of the work but he is still new. They facilitate and enables when the employee starts to work with little or no guidance. They delegate and oversee when the employee becomes mature in his role and responsibility. The seventh quality is they are able to think strategically. They think and act strategically. In order to be successful as a leader, they reflect on situations and create connections between ideas, plans, and people that others fail to see. In the process of connecting the dots, they make choices which are beneficial for both employees and organizations. So my dear friend, let's see the summary and see the 7 good qualities of a good manager. So in summary, they communicate effectively, they set the right goals for the employees, they review employee goals periodically, they give consistent feedbacks, they are problem solvers, they trust and respect their employees, they have the ability to think strategically. So all these are main pillars of good people management. People who feels good about themselves always produce the good result. Keeping this context in mind, all these qualities will give you the good start and produce valuable results for your organization. If you believe that this video has added any value to you, then I would request you all to like, share and subscribe this channel. Till then, I will wait to meet you again with a new and interesting video.